Hello, my name is Sam Weston, and today I'll be talking to you about urban biking. Urban biking is good exercise, and some might even call it fun. However, some things aren't so much fun, such as getting a flat tire. As you can see, I have a flat tire myself, so I'll be showing you how to change this flat tire. To begin, you have to always remember your repair pouch when traveling in urban areas, and pretty much anywhere when you're on a bike. You have to include these three things in your repair pouch: a spare tire, like so, a repair tool to help you get off the tire and back on, and the third tool is your air to refill your tire. Now that you have those three things, you can begin repairing your tire by flipping over the bike. You do this so it's easy to access the flat tire on your bike. Now that the bike is flipped over, you can start repairing it by detaching the tire from the fork. Now that the tire is detached from the fork, you can begin removing the tire. If there's any excess air still left in your tire after you have gotten your flat, you can release the valve stem and let all the air out. Now that I've done this, I can start by removing the bead from the inside of the tire rim with my repair tool. You run it along the edge to make sure all of the tire bead is out from the rim. Now that I've done this, then I can do it on the opposite side, except this time I can probably use my hand. Now that I've removed both tire beads from the rim, I can remove the washer from around the valve stem. Now that it's released, the tire and the rim are fully separated. Now you can put your rim aside and begin changing the tire. First, remove the tube from inside the tire. Then, once you remove the old flat tube from inside the tire, you get your new tube, and then you start doing it. Okay. Now that you've taken out the punctured tube, you can start by uncoiling the new tube and filling it with a little bit of air. In terms of air, you can either use your air cartridge or the air pump. I'm going to be using the air pump. First, you get the air nozzle and twist it onto the valve stem. I find twisting it on makes sure there's a proper seal between the nozzle and the valve stem. Then, you put in about 10 psi of air into the new bike tube. That's good. You detach the nozzle and put that aside. Now, you get your tire and put in the tube into the center of the tire. Try to make sure there's no creases or anything that might produce a pinch flat where the rim pinches against the tube and pops it. Now that the tube is in the tire, you can start by picking up your rim and finding the valve stem hole, which is right here. Then you put the valve stem into the hole, and then you begin putting the bead into the rim. probably won't need the tool in this part because there's no air pressure to make it difficult to put the bead into the rim. But if you need it, it's right there. Okay, now one side of the bead is in the rim, and now I start on the other. As you can see, I'm doing this by hand because it's not hard. Okay, now the tire and tube are properly inserted back into the rim. Now I need to put the washer onto the valve stem to finish putting on the tube and the tire. Okay, now the washer is back on. Now all I need to do is fill it with air. I look on the side of the tire to see how much air pressure I should put in. And it says right here about 60 psi. So I put on the air nozzle and I twist it on to ensure a proper connection. And then I begin pumping. If it's too hard at first, that probably means you don't have a proper connection between the air nozzle and the valve stem. So you should try again and see if you have the proper connection. Okay, that's about 60 psi. Now I detach the air nozzle from the valve stem and I tighten down the valve stem so that air doesn't leak out. Then I align the tire and the rim to the fork. And now that it's in place, I tighten it down like so. Now that it's tight, you can flip it back over and you are ready to go. Have a nice day. Woo.